Hey everyone, this is LaRue from FilmSnobbery, and I'm here at the Oxford Film Festival here in Oxford, Mississippi, and I am here joined today with...
I'm Jordan Noel. I'm the director of a movie called This World Alone.
And also...
I'm Trisha Solyn. I was the cinematographer on it.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the movie.
It's a post-apocalyptic thriller about 3 women living in seclusion and safety in the mountains about 20 years after an apocalyptic event. And when one of them is the subject of an unfortunate event, the youngest must leave their safety of their place and go exploring to find some necessary things. And so it's
without giving it all away, right?
Yeah, no, none of it. So it's at its heart, it's a mother-daughter story. So it's a coming of age, and it's also about parenting and nature versus nurture. Those sorts of things.
I'm sure you hear this all the time, but where do you come up with these things?
Well, I don't, which is great. The writer and producer, Hudson Phillips, comes up with these things. But he and I are both parents, and we've both been young people that came of age, so these are things that we think about and talk about.
You were a young person too once?
Yeah,
I was too.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah.
And see, it's a movie that everyone can relate with, because everyone, unless they haven't done it yet, everyone will.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, at the indie level, shooting a post-apocalyptic movie, because I'm sure that from many arenas, budget, etc., was not easy. So I'm going to take it on over to the cinematographer real quick, and I'm going to say, how do you work your magic?
Well, I'm used to working with very small budgets. Hudson Phillips is a very intelligent writer, producer, and knows what's financially feasible. So we shot in 10 days, straight through, no breaks. That was my choice because of gear. We had great support from sponsors like Full Frame Rental and Airy Camera, Atlanta specifically, and eFilm, who did our post-color, and a bunch of sound people that he can mention. But yeah, I mean, it was a very tight schedule. We had to go in knowing what we wanted. We knew we had to shoot a lot of exteriors. They had some night exteriors that we shot day for night, old school style, and really worked the budget that we had, the gear we had. It's like I had people offering us giant gear, like dollies and 12 bys and things like that, and literally told them we only have one gaffer and one key grip. It's not safe to put up anything big. So we blocked stuff, we lit stuff, we chose time of day very specifically so that we didn't need the big gear and we could focus on performance and the camera work over everything else. We also had 5 volunteer Steadicam ops who came up and gave us our camera movement, because otherwise everything was going to be handheld or locked off on sticks. And I thank all of them, especially Josiah Morgan, who came up for almost half of our 10-day shoot. So.
Handheld and on sticks. I mean, who doesn't want to shoot a post-apocalyptic Kevin Smith movie?
Exactly.
And also, like from the outset of the idea, I wanted to explore a post-apocalyptic world that was lush and green and being overgrown, because the movie is about, in many ways, nature versus nurture. So nature needed to represent itself there, and so I love movies like The Road but I feel like that part of the post-apocalypse has been explored. And I wanted
you usually see and not to interrupt, but you usually see you'll see a little bit of like in I Am Legend, you see a little bit of nature coming back into it, but mostly they focus on the breakdown of society, including cities and machinery. But yeah, you don't really see the whole kind of like nature's coming back at you, pal.
Oh yeah, and so that was fun and also pretty convenient.
Yeah.
Because we shot in North Georgia, and there's a lot of kudzu and other things that were all around, but it was that was a fun thing to explore and to kind of play with visually and metaphorically as far as nature.
Yeah, we got up at all hours of the day to get shots and B-roll shots, and anything we saw that was interesting or unique, like we filmed it. So in that 10 days, we exploited every minute of downtime in nature and giant spider webs in fields and spiders with eggs and yellow jackets and everything.
No snakes,
praying
though.
mantis.
I wanted a snake so bad, and we never found one.
It's true, yeah.
We got close to finding a bear, and I was really excited about it, but it ran off before we could get there.
I don't know whether or not to be excited or frightened about the possibility of anyone making a film with you. No. Well, because the 10 days is really tough. I mean, you must really want to put a crew around you that understands obviously what the end goal here is, but I mean, you must want to put people in around you in that case, especially when you're in the in the woods basically, and that you trust. And that so how did you guys go around the process of crewing up? I'm guessing it wasn't just like, who wants to go camping for 10 days?
Some of the crew we knew. Trish found a good amount of the crew.
Yeah.
And we knew our cast, and we all lived in the same house.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle Moreland. Michelle Moreland is our saving grace. She came on board as a producer, gave us all of our locations, our housing, acres and acres of land up in Hiawassee. She's a godsend.
And then we all stayed on her property. So I think at most we had 22 people staying in this house.
Yeah.
I was sleeping on the floor with the PA and the script supervisor. It was making making movies for us is very much about building family and building community.
The other thing is, No. The other thing I was going to say is, literally because we knew what we had going in the budget and the experience of being outside so much. I mean, when I pitched to crew members, we couldn't pay people very much, if anything, on this one. And I sell them worst case scenario, like it's going to be hot, they're going to be long days, it's going to be this and that, blah, blah, blah. But at the heart of it, Hudson and Jordan both really appreciate and support people they're helping them, and they're grateful, and they know they can't do it without them, so they feed them well, they treat them well, they're their friends, they're all equals. Like, they don't get special meals as a director or actors versus the crew, so everyone is treated as equals and family. So
I'm going to have to insist on my own separate bathroom. I'm sorry.
No, we all
I require a fresh bowl.
There's fresh woods anywhere you wanted to go.
we all shared all that bathroom. I mean, lead stars, producers, everybody.
So this sounds like this is not your first go around filmmaking wise.
No, we made a lot of short films, and I've made a ton of music videos, but this was our first feature.
Nice. Obviously, the film process is pretty similar, whether you're making a feature, a short, a doc, whatever. I mean, it's you shoot it, you post it, you then go through the rigmarole we're going through now, which is the festival circuit.
Right.
What were some of the, if any, things that you kind of learned? We're like, oh, so this is what it's like making something that's like, say, 90 minutes versus 10 minutes or less.
I agree with you that it's essentially the same, and I'll disagree with you that it is completely different. This was like a threshold in my life that just turned it upside down. It was the most transformative experience of my life, and I think that is building this family and working really, really closely with actors and just being in that for 10 days straight, and then post was just me for the most part. I had an assistant editor for part of it, but it was for the most part me for months in my office in the dark, and it was very lonely compared to the family life of set. But I was a touring musician for a long time, so it is very similar to that as far as building family like you do on the road with a tour with several bands.
So does that mean when you go to festivals and stuff like this, you kind of already have an idea of how to quote unquote, I guess, play to the crowd?
No, I don't think I've ever been good at playing to the crowd. But
Jordan speaks from the heart.
I don't know. I'm feeling a little something right now. I'm just saying. I think there's a little something here.
This guy is genuine. He doesn't know how to phone it in. He only can. That's why his performances from the actors are so good. He literally can just relate and emote, and he gives it all. He doesn't hide anything of himself, and so actors don't hide anything from him.
Yeah. It's fun. It's also really painful, but in a really rewarding and wonderful way.
Fantastic. So obviously there is a market for things like film festivals and short films on the film festival circuit today. But have you done the festival circuit before, or is this a...
Yeah, we did. We started doing it with our first short, and so we did a lot of festivals in 2012 with our first short, which was called Rooney's World, which did really well for a short.
I know that film.
Oh, weird.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite thing I've ever worked on.
Well,
Besides this
we made that.
Oh, all right.
A long time ago. But yeah, we've been doing festivals, and we love it.
If you had any, let's say, tips for anyone who maybe this is their first festival, or they're just not as familiar with the circuit in general, what would you tell them?
Meet everybody you can. I mean, to me, film festivals it's much less about exposure than it is about building community with other filmmakers, because you just never know where those relationships might lead. It's the same, and I'm bringing it up again. It's the same as touring. I mean, like, if you're a band that goes on tour and you don't talk to the other bands or build community on the road, then what are you doing? So it's all about. We've made amazing friends in the last 7 years doing festivals because
And is it any different for you in terms of experience as a cinematographer? Like, for the director, I can imagine it's like, oh, I'm here to meet people, but also, I might find other producers to work with. I might find other actors to collaborate with. At some point, it's your job essentially to be like, I'll shoot your stuff.
I mean, I like relationships, the people I work with. I mean, I could shoot anything, not to brag, have a good reel. So like a lot of people want me to shoot their stuff, but I tend to pick projects with people that are interesting and good, or the projects are really interesting and good. And I met Hudson and did Rooney's World because the script was literally the best short I had ever read in the decades of shooting. And that I met this guy, and then I was like, I'm going to work with them forever. And I think in film festivals, just like you said, it's like, the people that you meet, like, if they're good writers and they have interesting stories, like I want to help them be better directors. I want their films to be better. I get excited about story. I don't shoot for shots. I shoot for telling a story. Right. And I would say, if anything, as a tip, I would say submit to this festival. The Oxford Film Festival is amazing. It's literally treated us so well. It's been so fun. People have actually watched our movie already, and they're like, we met people last night who were like, oh, I already bought tickets to see it today. And that's amazing because, like, some of the other film festivals, you get programmed against things and nobody actually comes to your movie. It's like for people that, are friends of family or whatnot. And I feel like it's going to have a really good turnout from people who don't know anything about it or us.
Yeah, it's actually, at one point I was like, oh, we're doing junkets at 10 a.m. Oh, but if you think about it, it's better that they're doing a junket at 10 a.m. than putting a movie at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Because who's going to, especially after an after party that ended at like 2. So it's like, that was smart on it. Oxford Film Festival, I'm glad you guys are both enjoying it. This is my first time here with FilmSnobbery, so it sounds like you folks are having a good time.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Did you do some bowling last night?
I did. I was terrible. I mean, terrible.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'm not here to impress people with bowling. That's not why they invited me here.
Well, you like to see that people see you as multifaceted,
Sure.
It's like, if you like my cinematography or if you like my directing, you should see me bowl. So
you should not.
Where online can we find more information about some of the projects that you folks are working on?
thisworldalone.com, and we actually just launched a new production company called Mirrorbox Films that I think is mirrorboxfilms.com.
That sounds right.
So we'll be doing our next feature later this year through that, and you should be able to find all the contact through there. Follow us at This World Alone Film.
Around there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you.
And good luck on the rest of the festival circuit and your screening here.
Thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you so much.